What's up everyone? Today I have two big things going on for the truck. First up, I need to install this box of parts, and then I have a big question for you guys on the next big mod coming for the truck. If you're new to the channel, my name is Mike. My brother and I are the ones behind the camera. Make sure you subscribe to us if you enjoy the videos, and follow us on Instagram for day-to-day updates of what's going on. Almost lost it there. Okay, so what did I just take out of the box? Well, I have some rain guards that I'm putting in. I know a lot of you guys are probably gonna say it's not a huge mod, and it really is not, but these are something that's functional. It's something I'm gonna use every day. I loved having them on my last truck. Let's go ahead and get them on the truck. So I just finished up the passenger side. This is a super easy install. The front actually did not come with any 3M adhesive, but if you could see in that quick time lapse there, this was sticking out way back here. So it's shoved in there pretty good, and I actually didn't know that it would come all the way down to here. I thought it would just stop up here, but I think I'm okay with that for now. And then the back did have the tape, as you saw, I peeled off. But look at that, they look very nice. I got the in-channel ones, the slimmer style, so they don't poke out a lot. And I don't really like the ones that you have to stick on to the actual paint. I think those are kind of tacky in my opinion. This just gives it a nice clean look. So you can get a feel of how they look on compared to nothing. So let's go ahead and get the driver's side done. Alright, so that took like 5 minutes on each side, just getting some of the tape off of the back. The only thing I'm kind of concerned about is I think I will be adding some tape to the back side here. When I put the window up and down, when it catches, the window will automatically roll back down because it's in the way here a little bit. So I think on both sides I'm gonna add just a little bit of 3M on the back side just to pull this out a little bit so I don't have to deal with that every day of the window just going up and down. Very easily install. Obviously it's not a huge mod, but it's something that I like to use. Let's get on to that question. Alright guys, so the main reason that I'm making this video is because I need your help. I have been researching for a lift, wheels, and tires for the truck for a couple of months now because I want to do this right. If you're a new viewer and you haven't seen my 2007 Tacoma, I did two different lift kits on that. The first one that I did was a 3-inch Revtech lift kit. So I had the coil spring spacer in the front, blocks and add-a-leafs in the rear. I had that for about 7 years on the truck. It was phenomenal. It did well off-road. It was okay on road. It was a very stiff setup because of that coil spring. So going over a speed bump or something, it almost felt like it bottomed out. So I didn't really have good front travel, and the blocks were okay. They were quiet in the rear. I mean, as well as it could be for the rear. Then I went to the Rough Country 6-inch lift kit, which was the worst decision I ever made. I'm not cutting the frame on this truck, so a 6-inch lift is out of the question. I had that on the truck 6 months, and that was the ultimate reason that I sold the truck. It was turning into a money pit. So I'm not doing 6 inches. You can actually get the same ground clearance as a 6-inch lift depending on the tire setup. So obviously like 35s would give you more axle clearance, but other than that, the ground clearance is pretty much the same as a 3-inch, and you can get better travel on the 3-inch. And I've been doing a lot of research on different kits. Can I piece a kit together? What can I do to just get the overall best kit? I want good on-road performance because let's face it, I will be on-road 95% of the time. That 5% that I'm gonna be off-road, I definitely want it to perform at its best. And I'm gonna be putting up a couple pictures here as I go along of what kits that I have found. Let me know what kit you're running, how it performs on and off-road, any kind of maintenance cost to it, any issues that you've had with the kit. So I'm gonna start up with an icon setup that I found. You can raise the vehicle up to 2.75 inches for the 3rd generation. On their 2nd generation kit, you can go to 3.5. What I talked to one of the reps, it said the engine weight up front is a little bit heavier, which is why you can't get a little bit higher lift. I do believe if you get like extended coilovers, that's for more weight up front, like if you're doing an aftermarket bumper and you don't put on a bumper, you can get a little more height. I'm not exactly sure on that, but this kit so far seems to be my #1 just because it comes with the upper control arms. I don't need reservoirs for the front shocks. I really don't need them for the rear either. That's a lot more high-speed off-road usage, which I'm not going to be doing. It comes with add-a-leafs in the rear. I really don't want to do blocks this time just because on the 6-inch the blocks were horrible the larger you went. I want more of a smooth ride. Also something that'll add a little more weight to the bed since I haul the dirt bikes and motorcycles and things like that. I think the add-a-leafs will be really well. The second kit I have found is a Bilstein Setup. So this is kind of more like an Old Man Emu setup with new coils and shocks for the front and then shocks in the rear. I'm not sure if I want to go with an OME setup simply because you really don't get that much lift. It gives you about 2 inches. I know another Tacoma that had that kit. He stuffed 33s on that truck and they did rub when they got up into the rear wheel wells. So it doesn't really give you that much of a lift. For the price, you could almost get something better, I feel like. So next up, I'm gonna go over a lift that I think I can piece together myself. I really don't see this being an option, but I thought I'd just throw it out there. This is a Fox kit. You can get the 2.5-inch front coilovers with upper control arms. It says that you can lift up to 3 inches. Now, upper control arms is something that I need your guys' help on. I never ran them on my 3-inch lift on my previous Tacoma, and I think I did pretty well. But I have read that upper control arms can give you a little bit more travel, a little more droop. It can give you a better alignment too. I mean, I never had any issues without them, but are they beneficial? Is it beneficial to spend the $400 to $500 extra to get those, depending on if I do a full kit, it'll add that price, you know, to the cost of the lift. Is that gonna be beneficial to extra ground clearance? I know, or not, sorry, extra travel. I do know that the front coils in some kits can give you 2 more inches of extended travel, but will that be hindered if you don't do the upper control arm? That is what I'm not entirely sure about, but I know a lot of you will probably say go for it, and that's probably what I'm going to do. And then I can do a Revtech front drop kit for the differential spacers. That's usually about 1 inch. That's very cheap, so I could get the coils, the upper control arms in the front with the differential drops, and then I could do shocks and find add-a-leafs for the rear and kind of piece the kit together myself. So do you guys think that's a good option? I don't know, because in the end it'll almost cost the same as just getting a full kit. The next kit I want to go over is a Toytech Boss suspension setup. This is a full kit. This has so many different options that you can go over on the website. You can choose the front amount load or preload of the shocks between, I think it's 650 and 700 or 700 and 750, depending on if you're doing a front bumper or not. You can choose to get the front differential drop kit. A lot of kits I found didn't include that. At least I never saw that on the website, so I'd probably have to do a little more digging on that. You can choose between blocks in the rear, add-a-leafs in the rear, and the different rear shocks that you want to go with. So honestly, I think for the price, this is the most rounded kit that you can get. You can piece it together with different options that you're looking for. It almost just seems like the best kit to get. So if any of you are running a Toytech kit, please let me know, because the price difference, this is almost one of the cheapest kits that I've found. Now, I don't want money to be an issue for me, because when I got the 6-inch rough country lift kit on my last truck, finding out how cheap it was just made me want to do it. I was like, I don't care, it's super cheap, let me put that on. And you know, it ended up costing me my truck. So I don't want money to be an issue. I'm not looking to spend 5 or 6 grand, you know, like the long travel setups, nothing like that. But this kit runs about $1,200 compared to the Icon, which is about $2,800. And I did forget to mention you can get upper control arms as an option for this as well. Still puts you about $1,700, $1,800, so still $1,000 less. So I don't want to ramble on too much. I know I really didn't go over that many lift kits. I'm pretty much narrowed down to 3. So we have the Icon setup, the Toytech Boss suspension setup, and then trying to piece together a kit myself. So if there's a kit obviously that I didn't mention that you're running and you can help me out, you can provide me with all that info on the kit down below, please let me know and I'll do a little more research on that kit. A lot of people have wondered why I haven't put the lift on the truck just yet, and it's because I'm doing all this research. You know, I want to do it right. I don't want to put a kit on figure out I hate it, and then, you know, go from there and trying to put another kit on. I want to do this all at once, get everything right, and that leads me on to the wheels and tire setup. So I'm not going to tell you the brand of wheel or what tires I want to run, just to keep that a surprise, but I will go over the specs of them. Right now I'm looking at a wheel that's 17 by 9. It has a -12 offset with a 4.5 inch back spacing. I want to run a full 33 inch tire on the truck, something I never got to do. So I want to do 33, probably keep it around 12 wide. So if you're running something like that on your truck, let me know if there's any trimming, any modifications that I have to do. I really don't want to do the body mount chop. I know that's probably not a really like a huge deal to have to do. I simply just don't want to do it. On my last truck I ran, it was just under 33 at 11.5 wide, and I ran an 1.25 wheel spacer. I did have rubbing on my lower control arms and then had to do a little bit of trimming front and rear. So I don't want to run a wheel spacer again. I want to accomplish that, kind of getting it poked out from the fender a little bit. I want to accomplish that with the tire. So do you guys feel like the -12 with a 4.5 inch back spacing would be too much? So the recommended wheel spec for a 3-inch lift I have found is to be 17 by 8.5, 0 offset with a 4.75 inch back spacing. So I'm going a little bit wider. I'm going with a -12 offset. Again, I don't want to hinder, you know, wearing out wheel bearings or things like that. So do you think -12 is going to hurt that with a 4.5 inch back spacing? But let me know too what wheel and tire setup you guys are running on your Tacoma. So that is my question for you guys. I hope I didn't bore you in this video. I'm really just looking for your help on what setup I can do on my truck. I've been doing so much research. I'd like a little bit more feedback from people who actually are running kits and wheel tire setup, things like that. Trying to put together what lift will work best on this truck along with the wheel and tire setup. I can't wait, you guys. It's coming really soon. Hopefully by the end of this year, maybe beginning of next year, depending on, you know, a little more research on the kit that I can do. And then we can do a comparison between how this has performed off-road stock compared to the new setup. So again, if you enjoyed that video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I will see you guys next video. Thanks for watching.